Confederation of Educational Institutions of India is the leading not-for-profit confederation in the national education space with a mission to support communities, industries, and governments through the promotion of global research, education, and training initiatives. This is Dr. Sandeep Ananthanarayanan. I am the co-chair for CEII Special Projects Committee, bringing you this edition of CEII's IVY Sustainable Development Goals Talk Series. CEII's IVY SDG Talk Series represents the inspirational, visionary, and youth-oriented conversations that are defining today's India. In this milieu, the current theme for the CEII Talk Series is Dialogues of Hope, conversations with India's educational leaders on how should India's youth address their educational and knowledge needs in today's scenario. With us today is Ms.Meeta Sharma, Principal, Mussoorie International School, one of the finest all-girls boarding schools in India. A distinguished education leader with extensive experience both in India and internationally, Ms. Sharma holds a postgraduate certification in education pedagogies from the Institute of Education, University College of London, United Kingdom. Ms. Meeta Sharma has also been principal to premier schools in Rajasthan, such as Maharaja Savai Mansingh School, Jaipur, and the Modi School in Sikar, Rajasthan. In addition to these, she is a member of the National Training Panel for the famed International Award for Young People, formerly called the Duke of Edinburgh Award. Ms. Meeta, thank you so much for joining us for this session of the CEII IVY SDG Talk Series. I will quickly jump to our first question, and that is that in this current pandemic scenario, students are facing a lot of anxiety and ambiguity. And many of these students don't even know what questions to ask to the stakeholders they are directly in touch with, that is parents and the school teachers. So in this scenario, what would be your advice be to the school leaders and to the parents on how should they handle their children and the students? What would your advice be to parents and school teachers?
Thank you, Sandeep. Thank you, first of all, for having me over here. I hope you're keeping safe and keeping indoors.
Absolutely.
Yes, the problems are complex and daunting. And we've never faced this kind of a situation. So it's all new for the parents as well as for educational leaders. I would not say that we are struggling, but the leaders across the world in terms of education are having the same questions that you are asking. And my answer to all of them is exactly the same, that we really need to model calmness. We need to have a quiet mind and model calmness. And it is only this that will see us through. Never give up on hope. At Mussoorie International School, hope is a decision that we have made. And it is just hope which will help us solve these problems. We'll figure out the solutions eventually. But it's the calmness of my heart and mind that we need to, model at this time. Because our body language is picked up by the children at home who really do not understand the depth of the problem, but are just kind of, they are disturbed by their routine, want to get back to school. The parents also want them to get back to school. We have children who are in the board classes. The results are not declared. Time is running out for the next academic session. So there are questions and questions and questions. However, not many of us know the answers. We are all waiting for the advisories of the government, of the curriculum, the boards, and let us see how it gets through. But yes, we all need to stay calm. We are not the only one in it. So I guess it's the anxiety control that really needs to be done at this time.
I think you're very right. In our discussions with various principals, hope and positivity are two keywords which keep on repeating throughout their discussions. And I think these two words are extremely important for the children of today and for them to have a very, very confident outlook towards the future. At the same time, with respect to your school, what are the concrete steps that Mussoorie International School has taken to keep this pandemic in context? What the steps you've taken for your school children?
So Sandeep, Mussoorie International School is a school which never stops learning. We are an all-girl residential school, and the learning continues. We believe that a small virus cannot upset our programs. Yes, it has limited us to our own personal spaces and spheres, but the learning continues. We are probably the first school in India to begin with the online classes. So we are in continuous touch. We're teaching them around 4.5 hours for 5 days a week. And besides that, to ensure that they are also physically fit, they do a little co-curricular activities. They also end up, serving the society. There are various sessions which are conducted with small groups on these virtual platforms. They are sending us the work. They're sending us the pictures of all the great work with their parents that they're doing to help out the people who are stranded in their nearby areas. Feeding them and clothing them. So it's wonderful. I mean, learning continues. I personally believe that real learning actually happens outside the classroom. If you look at it, we are in a situation whereby we have no answers. There's a lot of despair in this world. However, if you look at it in a positive frame of mind, it's given an opportunity for our kids to bind with their parents, to bond with their parents, and also understand how along with their parents they could end up serving the close community. At Mussoorie International School, social responsibility is very, very close to our heart. Let me tell you, and I'm very proud when I speak to you, that it's mandatory for every girl in school, every master in school, right from grade 1 to grade 12, to serve 40 hours. You may get a 90%, you may be a topper academically, or you may be bringing great laurels in sports or other things, co-curricular activities. But if you don't serve these 40 hours, you do not make it to the next grade. So it's a seed that we sow in our school very early, and we believe that when these girls come of age, and they are in a space and place where they can give back to society, and even if 2% of these girls give back to society, or what I would rather say, the 2% of students from every school in this country give back to the society, nobody can beat us nationally, internationally. So this is what. So this is still going on. Learning is continuing in terms of social responsibility, which the girls are taking at their homes. A lot of creative work is being done, is being posted, and being sent to us. Academic learning, of course, is taking place. I have a team of very, very passionate teachers here at school, and they're all out. In fact, they too are learning because they have also never faced this kind of a situation before.
Excellent. I think what you're talking about is very unique because uh, schools possibly are still trying to grapple with the education part of it, and you've gone beyond and ensured that the children don't forget their commitment to society. And that completely changes the perspective, because if you're trying to help others, possibly the orientation towards an issue changes to a very positive orientation, to be part of the solution rather than to be just facing the problem. That's actually very outstanding. However, I also want to ask you, in this initiative to connect with your students, let's say in an online model, what are the challenges that your teachers and your students are facing? One is a positive aspect, of course, but what are the challenges that you have faced?
Well, Sandeep, honestly, the challenges are also great in number. Firstly, you would probably vouch for this too, that it's easy for a kid to be more technologically learn faster as compared to an adult. An adult has always apprehensions. However, did take some time for us to train the teachers on this virtual platform, and not just the virtual platform, all the features of the virtual platform. Besides that, we found that parents, and especially parents of the primary school parents, they have limited number of devices at home. At home, we found that now both the kids, I mean, it's a nuclear family. Most of these families are nuclear families. Most, the parents had work to do from home. They're also working from home. They wanted their devices for themselves. The kids wanted devices. because the kids were now engaged for 4.5 hours, stuck to the platform, the learning platform. So we found that was a challenge. So with the lockdown situation, no more new devices could be brought in. So that was one. The second one was that the internet connectivity. The bandwidth, the entire family is on um, the network, and we found that it was sometimes the kids would log out, then they would have to log in. They needed help from their parents. The same was the condition with the teachers. Most of the teachers are now teaching from home, and we are a school, a boarding school. We have teachers from all across the country. Some of them have gone back to the remote areas where they come from, and connectivity was an issue over there. Even after upgrading their packages, yet we found that connectivity was an issue. Sandeep, we're a school which is from February to December. So unlike most of the schools in India, which had not even finished their year-end examination, we were already 6 weeks of into teaching into the new academic year. So we had 6 weeks of backdrop of teaching, and we continued with it. And currently, this week, we have the unit tests going on. I was very funny when, somebody would be logged out and we would get a call and say that, oh, please, can my daughter get 5 minutes more because of the internet connectivity? She was logged out. So these are some problems. Besides that, I also felt that while my teachers were teaching, somewhere we were losing that aha moment, you know, that little eureka moment which you get when you feel when the child has really understood that concept, and you see those emotions, and you see that the child is now, wanting to tell everyone that she's finally understood the concept, a difficult concept. That was not there. There is definitely a difference between a human interface and a machine interface. They were happy to see their teachers back on screen, but these were some of the basic challenges that we really faced. We're still facing them, but we're trying to do whatever best we can.
That statement that you said in the end is probably summarizes the import of the emotion that, given the situation, this is the best we can do. And thankfully, there is an online medium which allows students and teachers to interact. Because a few years ago, possibly this wasn't even something that we would have looked into. And there's much feedback that thankfully, at least there is an infrastructure to whatever extent it allows that interaction to take place. And this is something that I believe that your students might continue doing in the future, even when you continue your normal classes. Is that something that you have considered?
Yes, we are, we now, given this situation, one learns lessons, and we need our kids to be prepared for any eventuality. God forbid, nothing like this should ever happen to the entire world, but yet we would want them to know how to learn online as well. What are the commitment in terms of discipline, the commitment in terms of accountability of their own learning, all of that has to be inculcated in a child. In school, if the child is kind of, goes a little offbeat, they say the concentration span of a child is a few seconds. And if a child goes offbeat, there's always a teacher to remind that child to get back. But in this situation, when the child is at home and the mother is also logged on, the father is logged on to something else, he's got reports to send, the mother has got something else to do, and the child is on her own, then that sense of accountability is really, really important. So yes, we intend doing it. I don't intend doing it for the junior classes because I feel that they need more of that human touch. But sure. I think and I believe, and I'm going to be doing this, is that once these girls get back to school, I'm eagerly awaiting their arrival. Once a week, probably Saturday, where we have half an academic day, we would not call them into the classroom spaces. They could sit anywhere in the campus. We have beautiful gardens and fountains over here. We're a hill school, blessed with bounty of nature. They could sit anywhere, log in, and we would mark their attendance. And probably, this would be an ongoing thing in future.
Excellent. You could possibly even conduct quizzes and competitions online to ensure that there is the fun aspect also in this whole online teaching initiative. That's really wonderfully put, actually. My final question to you is targeted at the future of the students who are in the higher grades. Students who are in the board exam grade, some of them have given some exams, some of them have not given some exams. There are boards internationally which have said that now we are not going to conduct exams. So students in these higher grades are at the top of their anxiety. And especially those who were looking forward to foreign admissions. Now they don't know whether the foreign admissions will take place in the winter, with UK colleges, some of them coming out and saying that they're postponing their admissions for these winters. In the Indian education system, the gap means a lot. What would be your advice to these children who are right now in the higher grades, who are possibly passing out or just have entered the higher grade? What is the solution to their anxiety? How do they handle this issue of marks not being given to them through a standard examination?
So, Sandeep, we've been in touch with the girls in grade 10 as well as grade 12. I'd like to tell you that we run three curriculums. We run the International Baccalaureate, we run the Cambridge curriculum, and we also run the Indian Council system. So, for us, we have girls who are in three curriculums in the anxiety mode, but we've been trying to talk to them and not just talk to them in a group, but we have also been, our counselors have been talking to them one-on-one. And I would just say, and I've been telling them, in fact, that they are not the only ones in this. This is a situation which is prevailing and is applicable for anybody and everybody who's in their age group, right? And they are at that age and stage of life where they do understand, and that it's not about education anymore. It's about saving lives. It's about saving the country. It's about saving the human race. This is more like a third world war without any missiles. So we've been trying to tell them all of this, that this is something which is not my problem or your problem or problem of grade 10 or grade 12 or the international curriculum girls or the Indian curriculum girls. This is our problem. And we will figure out um, the curriculums, whether they are Indian or international, are very considerate in their actions. And as you must be aware, that they are now going to be promoted to the next grade on predicted grades. Grades that the school's going to be giving, grades which are going to be moderated outside and on basis of the internal assessment that we're going to be submitting, or in terms of Cambridge, maybe the evidence that whatever they have done within school. So let's have faith. Let's have faith in the system. No system is going to come up with some kind of strategy which is going to be harmful for these kids. Obviously, they're all considerate systems. The ultimate tragedy is not the death. The ultimate tragedy is the death of hope. We cannot let hope among these girls die down. And I always believe that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. This situation, not giving a board examination, having predicted grades, the admissions being postponed in a different country is really not killing us. And this is definitely going to make us stronger to face other eventualities. I hope we never have to face them though. I hope we never have to have this kind of a situation. So it's this talking, it is this counseling, it is then telling them that we're not alone in this. They're not alone, we are there with them, which calms them down. We keep writing to them, we're keeping them busy with work. And of lately, we've decided to begin for grade 10, those who are appearing in grade 10, those who have finished, some of them are left with some examinations, like you said. Of lately, we've decided to start their grade 11. We are not going to wait for the results. We're not going to wait for anything. We know that our girls will make it. They are the Mussoorie International School girls. They are winners all the way and down. So we've decided that we will start their grade 11, which will keep them busy and occupied. As for grade 12, we are advising them till they have a clarity from the respective boards and from the government, they must enroll themselves into some MOOC, those massive online courses, and must, update their knowledge in whatever interests them.
I think
So I
that's
think it is working. It's
yes.
working.
No, absolutely fair and reasonable and tempered with excellent amounts of positivity and confidence boosting statements. Ms. Meeta Sharma, the objective of our talk series is to probably increase the focus of the world and especially the education community on sustainable development goals. And one of the pillars of sustainable development goals is also health. And I think this current pandemic has given a renewed focus that unequitable development and unequitable growth can probably be never sustained throughout. And this kind of exercise, which is a global exercise now, renews the focus of the world on such sustainability. And I think what your school is doing, the things that you said, is a benchmark for other schools to learn from. Ms. Meeta Sharma, thank you.
Sandeep,
Yes, please go
yeah.
ahead.
If I could just add in, the
Absolutely.
school is not just concerned about the girls who study here. We're also concerned about their parents. So we are also doing online sessions for them in terms of meditation, yoga, and Zumba. And it's like other sessions where we mark attendance. Here we don't mark attendance, and we find that a lot many more of these sessions are being demanded from the school. I think I would say the bottom line is that this virus and this condition has probably given us a chance to do a little more of introspection. And what can pull us through? I mean, this is my personal opinion, but what can pull us through, along with all the counseling and the modeling of calmness, is self realization, actualization, which is very tough but can happen through meditation. And there are a lot of guided courses of meditation which are going on across for anybody to join in. We just have to let go and let be things and make the best of the situation. So
That's
I'm sure we're going to overcome all of this, and we'll be back to normal. The human race is resilient, you know and it'll be great to get back to normal.
Ms. Meeta Sharma, thank you so much for joining us in this series of the CEI SDG Talk series. We hope to have you back with us very soon in the future and have
Thank you very
the
much.
educational community get more of your comments. Thanks for your time and thanks for your great
Thank you.
comments.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Sandeep. Keep safe, keep inside.